Rachel Porter. In this Awaken Learning video, we're going to learn about the integration between Google Calendar and Google Classroom. Let's take a look here in Classroom, and you can see that I'm on my Stream tab, and I have two things that are listed here in my Stream that have due dates this week. I have a sample assignment that's due tomorrow, and I have a sample question that's due on November 24th. Now, it's important to note that those two things are going to show up in your Classroom calendar, but anything that does not have a due date will not show up in your Classroom calendar. So if you come here and just create an announcement, or maybe you create an assignment, but you choose the option to not, didn't come up here, to have no due date, it's not going to show up in your calendar. So those are important things to note before we move on. So now let's go to the About section, and this is where students can find their Classroom calendar. We have two options. We can view it in Classroom, or we can open it in Google Calendar. So let's start here by viewing it in Classroom. So on this screen, you're going to see only a week at a time, and you're only going to see the class that you are coming from. So I'm coming from this teacher training class. However, I can click on this and switch to a different class or show all classes as well. So here you'll see that sample assignment that's due tomorrow and that sample question that's due later this week. I can toggle through different weeks by using these arrow keys. And if you get quite a bit away from the current date, one nice little shortcut is that we can come up here to this little calendar icon in the top right to jump back to today. So that's kind of nice. One last thing I want to show you, well, a couple things from the screen. I can click on one of those things in the calendar and it'll take me into that assignment, just like if they went to that assignment from their Stream. And one more thing to show you. My pages are taking a while to load today. Over here in the top corner, I have my main hamburger menu for Classroom, and I can get to this from any page in Classroom. But if I click that, I have a calendar option here. That's going to take me to this same view within Classroom, but it's going to show me all classes. So that's a helpful little shortcut as well. Now, let's go back to our About tab over here, and let's open this Classroom calendar in Google Calendar. Now this is going to take us to the actual Google Calendar site where we can see all of our calendars. If you're a student clicking on that, it's going to ask if you want to add that calendar, and they'll need to say yes, and then it'll show up under their other calendars. So you can see these are classes that I am a student in that are listed here. As a teacher for the class, it's going to automatically show up under My Calendar. So these are classes that either you created and you're the teacher of, or somebody has added you as a co-teacher to a class. And you'll see, just like in all other aspects of calendar, we have this little colored box in front that shows that it's turned on. So for teacher training class, you can see that sample assignment and that sample question are listed here. If it's got a white box in front, that means it's not turned on. So like this Harmon Block 3 is not turned on, and all I have to do is click it to turn on and have those show up in my calendar as well. Now, one last quick thing that I want to communicate about using Calendar and Classroom together. If I'm here in the actual calendar site, I can come here and I can create an event and add it to my Classroom calendar just like I would any other event in Calendar. However, I'll see that that shows up there, but I just wanted to caution you because it's important for you to know that students will not receive an email that this event has been added to their Classroom calendar. And if we go back to viewing this calendar in Classroom, let me let this page come up real quickly, but you're going to see that that test is not going to show up here if you have added something by way of the calendar site. So those are just important things to know. You're not going to want to rely on that route as a method of communicating that there's a test coming up with your students. You're going to want to post that as an announcement in Classroom or verbally tell them, of course, because they will only see that on their calendar if they actually go to the calendar site. So I just wanted to point that out. As always, if there's anything that I can do to help you start integrating calendar and classroom together and use them more efficiently, please do not hesitate to reach out to me.